She thought grace had limits, but love kept showing up. The rain had started an hour ago, soft at first, now pounding like heaven was weeping with her. The street outside the gas station glowed with the amber haze of a flickering streetlight. Inside, the bathroom smelled of bleach and loneliness. The kind of place no one lingers in unless they have nowhere else to go. Ava's fingers trembled as she sat slumped in the corner stall, her back pressed against the freezing tile wall. Her jeans were soaked at the knees from kneeling earlier in the alley before she'd found a vein. Her hands, still stained with a reddish smudge, clenched an old crumpled photo of her little niece from 3 Christmases ago. She'd once promised the girl she'd get better, that she'd come home. But she didn't come home. Not that time, not the next time either. This was relapse number 13, and counting. She had lost track of how many times she'd swore she was done. Her voice was hoarse from crying, not the loud kind, the quiet kind that seeps out in whimpers when your soul's too tired to scream. She looked at the needle on the floor, still uncapped. The shame crawled up her throat like bile. She whispered, "I told you I'd stop. I meant it. I meant it." Her voice cracked. Why am I like this? Her heart pounded in her chest, not from the drugs, but from the dread. What if this time really is too far? What if God's done watching me ruin everything? What if there's a limit to grace, and I just passed it? She closed her eyes. I don't even deserve to say his name, she thought. Not anymore. And yet, it came anyway. A single name, not shouted, barely breathed. Jesus. Silence. At first, then, something shifted. The buzz of the fluorescent lights seemed to hush. The air felt thicker, warmer, but not oppressive. It felt alive. She opened her eyes, and sitting across from her on the same cold, dirty floor was a man. He wore a worn hoodie, sleeves rolled to his forearms. His shoes were muddy, his hands calloused, his eyes, they looked like oceans that had seen storms and still loved the wind. She flinched, tried to speak, but he held up a hand, gentle. No judgment, just presence. He didn't ask why she did it again. He didn't list all her failures. He didn't sigh or scold or shake his head. He just looked at her, really looked at her. And in that gaze, she felt everything unravel. Every lie she'd told, every promise broken, every time she'd chosen the high over the healing. And he still didn't leave. In fact, he scooted closer. She broke down. I messed up, she choked. He nodded, not as accusation, but as understanding. I told you I'd be better. I know. I don't even deserve you anymore. That was never the point, he whispered. Then, without wanting for her to prove herself, he reached out, cupping her face with his hands, and it felt like eternity. He said, I'll never let go, even here. And she believed him. For the first time in years, she believed she was more than her last mistake. She believed someone could see her, not as an addict, but as Ava, as his. You know, there's no number too high for grace to reach, and no place too low for Jesus to kneel beside you. God bless you, my friends.